Hello everyone, it's Jeff. Back with another video on the Monday after Record Store Day weekend. I've been watching a lot of people's videos. Looks like everyone got mostly what they wanted, which is always a good thing. This is the first. I know I usually say that I do my Record Store Day shopping after the fact, but this year, in one of the rare planetary calendar alignments, I was off on the actual day of Record Store Day, which was Saturday. So I figured, what the hell, I'll go to the closest record store to me, which is about a half-hour drive. And I figured I'd just go in, see what's there, see if I could find anything. I had several records in mind that I would have liked to have gotten. So I figured I would just go there, look for whatever they had, and hopefully there would be records in their regular stock that I could maybe get a discount if they're running a discount for Record Store Day, which I don't think they were. Needless to say, all the records that I was looking for or would have wanted to get weren't there. Whether they were there in the first place, I don't know. If I liked the Grateful Dead more, which, I would have had a chance at the Live at the Fillmore 1969 set, because I was standing in line to pay, because I did find a couple records, which I'm about to show you. But I'm standing in line to pay, and the guy walked out behind the counter and had it in his hand. And I think they were holding it for someone and they didn't come, or they canceled on him or something. And he just stuck it in the box. They only had 3 boxes of Record Store Day records on the front counter. That was it. You know, I look at all these pictures and videos of other record stores, and they have tables of stuff, and there was only 3 boxes, and they were basically half empty by the time I got there, which was probably an hour and a half after they opened. Hour and a half, maybe 2 hours after they opened. But yeah, I could have grabbed that Dead set if I wanted to, and a guy came along probably 10 seconds later and grabbed it. So, Grateful Dead's okay, but Anyway, I did get 2 records on Saturday. One from this year's Record Store Day, which I just happened to come across and decided to buy because I didn't want to walk out empty-handed. And another one, they actually had they had more boxes out of their leftovers from previous year's Record Store Day than they had from the current Record Store Day. So I found a record in their leftover boxes, RSD leftover boxes. So the first one from this year's Record Store Day that I bought, that I found, was the Eurythmics re-release of 1984, the soundtrack to the movie 1984. I like Eurythmics. My wife really likes the Eurythmics, so I figured, what the heck, I get it. And it is released on red vinyl, pretty red vinyl. So that's nice. You know, I flipped through everything they had there once, and then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I'll get Eurythmics. I like them. So this is what I actually bought in person at Record Store Day from this year, Eurythmics, 1984. And the record that I found in their leftover boxes, I was actually more excited about, because I was looking for this kind of off and on over the last year or so. Albert King's Born Under a Bad Sign. Yeah, the reissue, the Stax Records reissue. So yeah, I was actually a little more excited to get this one than I was the Eurythmics. So, and this is on the, it's in a plastic lined sleeve, and it's got the replica old school Stax record label there. So that's nice. So yeah, pretty happy to happy to land this one. I'll be spinning this one sooner than later. And so yeah, I went there. I'm not naming my record store. I think you guys probably know. I think I've named it before, but I don't like bashing places, but I really don't like this place. I only go there because it's the absolute closest record store. I mean, there's several others in the city that I could drive to, but it was a rare day off with my wife too, and we spent the day together, and this was just one stop among many stops of the day. So if I was dedicating the entire day to it and wanted to make trips to several stores, that was one thing, but I figured I'd just stop here, no expectations, and I mean, of course I'm a little disappointed because I had like 4 or 5 records that I wanted to look for to see if they had. If I'd have found any of them, I would have been furiously happy because it just would have made me happy. I don't like to bitch about Record Store Day either, but it's such a haphazard affair depending on where you live. I think that's a big key to how much you enjoy it, how close you are to a record store, A, and B, how good that record store does with Record Store Day, because not all record stores do the same for this event. So I'm happy with what I found, and in all honesty, this is really going to be a to be continued type of thing, because on Saturday and Sunday I did what I always do. Every time Record Store Day comes around and there's something I really want, I bought it online. The only difference is this year I ended up buying 5 records online, one of which is already shipped. I already got the notice as I record this on Monday morning, late Monday morning. But there were more records this year than in previous years that I really wanted. I don't know why it happened this year, but I saw what was out there. I saw a few of them in other people's videos, and I was like, God, I want that. So I got 5 more coming. So probably in about a week's time, week and a half's time, when I get them all together, I'll come back and I'll show you what I got. So this will be just part 1 of my Record Store Day haul, which is very meager, 2 records. Part 2 will be a little more substantial, so that will come in a future video. Okay, this is actually a Spin Zone video because I've got several records here that I've listened to over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, that I'll share with you. And they were all actually quite good, starting with Countdown, Time in Outer Space by the Dave Brubeck Quartet. Actually, I'm finding that I'm really enjoying these Brubeck records. I mean, this is the only other one I have besides Time Out. But yeah, this is really good stuff. This is more my speed for jazz, I think. It might be a little more basic, I know, but like I say, I'm kind of a jazz newbie. And it's an original 6i Columbia in mono. So I'm really enjoying the mono sound too. I never really paid attention to the difference, but it seems like the music just jumps out of the speakers better when it's all coming at you at the same time from every speaker. I'm not saying mono is better or worse. I'm just saying I'm really enjoying it. Like for this stuff, it's really awesome. So I found that I quite liked this this record. It's you know, you could almost dance to it if you wanted to. It's that peppy. It's that off kilter. It's, you know, weird time signatures. But yeah, it's a good record. Good for jazz newbies, I think, like me. And then of course, I've had this one I've been saving for a little while, and I decided to listen to it the other day. I got Sex Machine by James Brown, recorded live at home in Augusta, Georgia, with his bad self. Come on, how can you not love this? This was a live album, and actually a live double album. There's the gatefold, Too bad it's a cutout. Too bad I can't imagine a James Brown album being a cutout album. But every side of this album opens the same with an introduction by Mr. Dynamite, James Brown, and he comes on and he does his thing. He kind of hits that squealy high note a little too many times for my taste on this one, especially when I've got the sound turned up. And he does that, yeah, I can't even go that high, but it's super high, and he does that a lot, especially like on the first record of these two records. And then he kind of calms down after that. But man, James, you're killing my ears here. Never thought I'd say that. Other than that, what can I say? I wish I would have seen him live like this in this time back in the day. This is a great record just to put on loud. I mean, you may have to not put it on quite as loud if you don't want to hear him squealing that high, but overall, this is a great fun listen. Sex Machine by James Brown. And I should add, when I went to my record store on Saturday, they did have several James Brown records, but they were in very crappy condition. Otherwise, I would have bought some of those to go along with this one. So, oh well. I'm always on the lookout for more James Brown. And I'll get more. And then, another jazz album that I found through my friend Sean Zlock. This is Pyramid by the Modern Jazz Quartet. This was the test record that he used in one of his videos to show off his fancy Sweet Vinyl Sugar Cube, which I'm supremely lustful for. But I heard, he played, a couple seconds of the first track, which is called Vendome, and I liked it. It seemed like, it was like Brubeck. It was kind of peppy. You're like, I'm not going to go all Jazzbo on you, but it seemed like something that was more my speed as far as jazz goes. So I tracked down a copy and I played it. I actually listened to this one with my wife, and she liked it a lot too, and because she likes jazz. And yeah, this was heavy on the vibes. I mean, the vibes were just about the lead instrument on every single song here, but that was fine. Different. I've never really listened to a jazz album with vibes as the main lead. But yeah, this is a reissue from the 70s, I believe. It's just on your basic Atlantic record label. But yeah, this is another good one I would say, for jazz beginners, if you didn't want to go too far out in left field with other artists. This is a good jazz record to start with. Pyramid by the Modern Jazz Quartet. So that was another good jazz discovery. Thank you, Sean. You got good taste too. Moving right along, I bought this. This was on my contest entry for Linda Legg's Smoking Hot contest. Albert King with Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I'm not kidding. After I made that video, I peeled off the shrink wrap and played it right then and there, and I cranked it up. Great sounding record. Great sounding everything, really. I mean, what can you say with Albert King and Stevie Ray Vaughan playing together? Come on. That's some classic stuff. So, this one, yeah, I got it the day I made that video, and then I listened to it right then and there. That doesn't happen too often with records, because usually I get several in at the same time, so can't listen to them all at once. But this one went right to the top of the pile when I got it. Highly recommended if you're a fan of either of these guys, or both. Get this one. This wasn't that expensive. I think this isn't the Newbury Comics reissue on colored vinyl. That one runs a lot higher. This one was like 18 bucks, 18 or 20 bucks, brand new. So yeah, add this to your Stevie Ray Vaughan or your Albert King collections, and I think you'll be glad you did. This is a really great record. I'll be listening to this again soon. And a record that my wife bought me because she's determined to keep me somewhat half-assed current with new music. She bought me this album by Kaleo called A.B. And how to describe how this sounds. This would probably fall into something along the lines of maybe The Record Company, you know, kind of like a modern day four-piece like blues rock band. I'd never heard of these guys, and I guess my wife has heard them on satellite radio several times, so she liked it, so she bought me the record, and yeah, it was good. I got, you know, there's nothing wrong with getting into new bands and new music. So yeah, this is a pretty good album by Kaleo. It's a four-piece band, so it's pretty good. And last but not least, I listened to this morning right before I made this video. I got this record last Friday. The Who, live at the Fillmore East, 1968. This just came out, brand new. 3-record set. Here's the back with Pete slamming on his guitar. And I don't know, I'll move a little closer so you can see the set list a little bit better. It's pretty much the same set list as Live at Leeds. This was their basic show. Of course, there's no Tommy material because Tommy hadn't come out yet. But you've got Summertime Blues, Fortune Teller, Tattoo, Can't Explain, Happy Jack, I'm a Boy, Quick One While He's Away. My Generation takes up all of the third record, both sides, which just becomes this long guitar jam from Pete. And then it just kind of cuts out at the end. It just ends. They start off as My Generation, and then they go off into this left field land and jam out for a good half hour. But they never come back to the main song and finish it. It just kind of ends, which is a little strange. Let me show you the gatefold here. It's a triple album, but 2 of the records are in one pocket and the third one is in the other, which is... I wish it was a trifold gatefold. That would have kind of had things a little less crammed. And the liner notes are in the inner sleeves. And it kind of, you see, it kind of continues from one sleeve to the next to the next. And then on the back, you've got reproductions of the tape boxes. So... this is I mean, if you like Live at Leeds, like Hannah, the Omaha Introvert, if you're watching this, if you like Live at Leeds, you'll like this. I mean, there's actually less like lead guitar from Pete on a lot of these songs. So, like Summertime Blues, you know, I'm sure we're all familiar with the Live at Leeds version. This one's basically the same, but it doesn't have as much lead from Pete on it. He's just kind of strumming. Same with Fortune Teller. Like, this was only, I think, the second time they played that song when they added it to their set. So it's a little more basic than the Live at Leeds version, which, you know, after 2 years of playing it, you know, after this record, Live at Leeds in 1970, you know, they got a little better with it and was able to expand on it a little bit more. So... the only variations, they've got Boris the Spider, they play that one. They play Come On Everybody, which then leads into Shakin' All Over. My Way, that's on side 4. What else? Little Billy and Relax are the other songs that aren't from the Live at Leeds set that are on here. So... their set obviously changed over time somewhat by a few songs, but this is pristine sounding records. This was mastered at Abbey Road Studios and in the dead wax on every single side, it says Miles. I don't know who Miles is, but Miles at Abbey Road, room like 32 or something. There's a different room number per side, but this was redone at Abbey Road Studios, so the sound is absolutely pristine. And I think, Hannah, if you're watching this, I think if you're as much of a Who fan as me, and I think you are, I think you'll like this record. It's, I'd say get it now while you can. Maybe with that Amazon card. But yeah, this is well worth having, I think, for a hardcore Who fan, for sure. And I think you would like it a lot. So there you go. Okay, I'm going to cut it off here. Thank you, everyone, for watching, liking, subscribing. I'm glad everyone enjoyed their record store day. I will be back to that probably in about a week or so once everything arrives in the mail. I'll cobble them all together and I'll show them to you. So that will be to be continued. And there's another contest I want to enter. I'm hoping to make that video either later today or tomorrow. And it should be up by tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, that's it. So peace, everyone. I'll talk to you later.